What'd you see?
Well, I woke up bright and early this morning and took a hike to the Brooklyn Bridge mid-span in anticipation of the 5:24 a.m. sunrise, and I caught a little smidgen of the eclipsed sun before it went behind clouds. And I'm so sad, but there was hundreds of people on the bridge, and people from one person flew in from Los Angeles just to have that vista. And because eclipses themselves are not terribly rare, but if you get an eclipse at sunrise with a Manhattan skyline, that's where the poetry is. But clouds came in.
So just basically what happens physically during an eclipse?
So for this eclipse, which is a solar eclipse, you have the sun, you have Earth, and moon goes around the Earth. So occasionally the moon comes exactly between the Earth and the sun. And when that happens, the sun just gets bites taken out of it. When you see it, it's like, well, what's going on? You have a crescent sun. And for a total eclipse, it would cover it completely. This was not a total eclipse. This is what's called an annular eclipse. It's from the Latin annulus, meaning ring. If you're at the center line of the eclipse, the moon comes through and you have a ring of fire around it. And so you'll see many photos of this eclipse from people who had good vantage points. Some people were in helicopters, even in airplanes, to get a good shot of it with the sunrise.
How much were you geeking out this morning?
I was totally geeking out, not because I geek out all the time, but the geekitude on that bridge. There was a little girl made an eclipse viewing box out of Cheerios, a Cheerios box, and and you can tell by the clothing they're wearing, a lot of Star Wars, Star Trek. So it was a morning for geeks on the bridge.
And I guess put this in perspective, how rare is something like what we saw this morning?
So the press likes to say, rare eclipse coming up. Eclipses happen, a total solar eclipse happens every couple of years. You never say, rare presidential election coming up, rare Olympics, you never say that, and that's every 4 years. So I think people want to believe that when things happen cosmically, that there's something cosmically special about it. I will just alert you that eclipses are common enough so that there's no reason why in your lifetime you should ever miss one. And in terms of a bucket list, definitely put them on. You might have to travel to it, but now with airplanes open and people go on vacations, do it. Do it. And it's a cosmic spectacle. What made today's eclipse more interesting is that the sun rose mostly eclipsed. And you get to see that juxtaposed on the beautiful Manhattan skyline. And so where we were, I only caught a smidgen of it just as it rose above the horizon. But I saw other parts in my field of view where it was clear that they were getting a good view of the sun, where the clouds were not blocking them.
Anything else that you want to add that I should have asked you about but didn't?
I was delighted, just as a scientist, to see as many people as I did on the Brooklyn Bridge for this event. We're talking about 5 o'clock in the morning. And it gives me hope that there's enough sort of geek underbelly in us all that maybe science literacy is not such a pipe dream, because we certainly need it if we're going to become better shepherds of civilization than we currently are.